Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to a capsule selection. Today, I want to get across a particular fragrance style that I love in my collection that I tend to use and move towards when I want to have a great amount of preeminent confidence. These fragrances for me create such an aura around me, but not only the aura around me and what the prevailing scent is, but it's this thing that's cognitive when I want to have something special on my skin that smells great, smells phenomenal, smells unique, but also gives me myself a great amount of confidence. Now, sometimes when it comes to fragrances, they can do just that. And these five in this particular list will, for you, and as they have for me, inspire and give great amounts of confidence. So if you want to smell your best, if you want to smell the greatest, this is the list for you. So if this sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Gentlemen, welcome to the Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuance of scent, cigars, and wines. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's experience. We're going to dive right into a capsule selection for you guys, one that I think is one of the best categories in my particular fragrance wardrobe. Now, I usually put these scents as the business fragrance, but today I'm going to do something special because not only do they inspire me to do greatness in business, they are transcendent. They actually do a lot for me when building confidence in other arenas of my life, when it's coming to the function of catering to different services in my world, the function of being around many people. These are the type of fragrances that inspire that type of character confidence, and I think that these will do the same for you. As I stated, I got 5 here for you, and this list, once I comprise it for you, I think that you're going to notice some of these fragrances have a particular aroma around them for a particular arena and style, and it's going to go off great for you. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, the fragrance I have for you guys here is from the House of Scents of Woods, and this is the scent Ebony and Oak. If you want a scent of distinction, the one that gives you the ultimate amount of confidence when you go out into the world, this one here, coming into the fall of 2024, is going to be one of the fragrances that I enjoy the most in that arena. This is a very beautiful ebony fragrance that has this distinct rich wood accord with some very beautiful spices and berry accords like blackberry and blueberry that you get in this. The nuance goes off very, very wonderful. The actual very distinguished and beautiful characteristic of this is this woody note that comes in contact with this suede leather. And the suede leather in this one comes off as beautiful as you've ever smelled in any perfume that you've got in your nose on. They did a very wonderful job in sourcing out some great materials for this one. So if you have the scents in your collection that come off like, I'd say, ombre leather or Aqua de Palmas leather, when you really enjoy those scents, but you want something in that readily available category with those characteristics, but you want something just off the beaten path that smells, if not as good, better, in my honest opinion, this is the scent for you. Very sweet, very warming, very cozy. It smells like this burning amber of sweetness along with that suede, and that burning amber of sweetness comes from the addition of oak and that like a sweet, warm, rosy geranium, that almost thick, rich fruit take on rose, but it doesn't smell the floral take on it. It smells more of a fruit and aromatic than it does the floral rose take on it, but it just smells phenomenal. It's one that gives me the ultimate amount of confidence when wearing this particular scent because of the suede ebony and the fruit accords. Just a phenomenal date night fragrance, a flirtation fragrance, and one that actually is great for business wear as well because of the way it comes off on the skin. Once again, Ebony and Oak by the House of Scents of Woods. Next up, what I have here for you guys, this is one of the favorite fragrances of the community of connoisseurs. This is one of those confident boosting fragrances, and this is from the House of Harmonist, and this is Hypnotizing Fire. Now, what you see here, don't be mistaken, this is the actual scent of Hypnotizing Fire, but what I was able to do was go on their website and purchase a refill container, and that refill container was 50 ml, and I actually put it inside of 2 of these readily available scent flacons off Amazon, like I usually do. If you guys want to go the economical route, these are a great way to go to get a beautiful scent. When it comes to Hypnotizing Fire, the name is apropos. The characteristics of this one are sweet, warm, spicy, goes into a beautiful rose, but if you want something with an exemplary note, the exemplary note of Opopanax, which is this sweet, warm, seamlessly beautiful note that blends with everything you put inside of it. It actually lengthens the effect of the sweetness of benzoin and vanilla, and it comes off resinous, sweet, spicy, and it's one of the best head-turning, confident-boosting fragrances that you can have in your particular collection. Now, I know that right now it's in the summertime, and so this is one of those fragrances that has a slight air of upliftment to it, as well as the robust take on a scentsy, sweet resinous accord to it. So for me, Hypnotizing Fire is a great end of summer fragrance that goes into the fall, autumn season, and then into the winter. So it's a great 3-season scent that has the richness of the Apophanax, which I said is an ambery resinous take, very silky, very smooth, velvety, soft. It adds weight to the fragrance while also giving it an ability to let the other notes shine through. And so that peppery Apophanax, or that peppery pimento bean, pimento that opens this fragrance, along with clove. And then there's a nice peppery patchouli in this as well. Not the cakey sweet kind, but the peppery, slightly heady, earthy style. But it's not anything that comes into the fore of the fragrance. It's just something very sexy in the background of it, but it comes off so well. It's sweet from praline accord, Bulgarian rose, like I said, that very beautiful rose accord, along with the heavy hitting note in this one, which is Apophanax. And it's a sweet, warming, resinous effect to this one that you cannot go wrong with when building self-confidence, awareness, and a great transcendent effect of preeminence around yourself. Once again, Hypnotizing Fire by the house of Harmonist Parfums. One of the best smelling fragrances, especially about 30 minutes in the skin. It goes on, the opening is beautiful, but once you get that 30-minute dry down in, man, this becomes phenomenal. Top 15 fragrance. Ladies and gentlemen, next up I have from the house of MORESQUE, and this is EMIRO. Now for me, when it comes to confidence, and I'm sure with many of you, but when it comes to confidence, you create confidence through many effects, many lasting effects. Not only self-confidence, but awareness confidence style. And for me, when you're creating character-driven traits, and confidence is one of those, you want fragrances that really complement not only your style and the way you want to be felt subjectively, but you want some things that go pleasing. But you also want just not high caliber, you want high value. And for me, EMIRO is one of the most high value fragrances, not only in its essence to bring about a high character and high value man, but also in its price point. Now, meal for meal, it may not be the best in prices. That's saying against what I'm about to tell you. It smells exactly like 100%. EMIRO smells of the most beautiful geranium leather oud fragrance on the market. Slight bit of rose, slight bit of amber, a little bit of ylang ylang. And those accords are things that go along with one of the best and most preeminent houses on the market, and that is the house of Parfums. This fragrance, EMIRO, if you did not know the difference, if you sprayed both fragrances in your face and your eyes were closed and you had both in your collection, you would not be able to tell the difference, not even from the first 10, 20, 30 minutes to 4-hour dry down. This is one of the best oud and rose fragrances on the market today. It smells of Parfums, oud, and it is just as phenomenal, if not better in some occasions. It's one of those fragrances that I got the 30 ml bottle of oud from Parfums, then it drew me into the amber oud and musk oud. But when I got the 30 ml done, I investigated what I was hearing about EMIRO years later. And when I picked up EMIRO, this is one of those bottles, it's almost halfway done. It's one of the best developing fragrances around a nice opening of leather, oud, jasmine sambac, ylang ylang, patchouli, amber, lemon, just everything that Roger will put in his perfumes. The house of MORESQUE did the exact same thing with EMIRO. Now, I don't know who made the formula. I'm not here to tell you guys that Roger made it, or EMIRO made it, or MORESQUE made it. This is a one-for-one fragrance that smells just like Roger Oud. And if you want that confident booster, if you want that type of essence on your skin, one that is beautiful, character-driven, that builds the ultimate amount of confidence, it's not one thing about this that is not enticing. It's not one thing about that is not a modern nuance. It's a very, very beautiful, enticing, spicy, solar effective oud fragrance that is so attractive and exotic that you will get heads turning and build the ultimate amount of confidence through wearing. Just a phenomenal scent that I think all you guys should get your nose on. What you're going to be impressed with is how he used the lemon. It's not screechy, it's not super citrusy, but it's very mellow, along with that ylang ylang and geranium accord over the oud and leather. Phenomenal, just phenomenal. Confidence booster If you can find this on the market for a great price, I could say this is actually one of those scents that if you're into the elevated high-end fragrances and you want a Roja Oud or Amber Oud, one of those fragrances, and you've researched those and you want those in your collection, but you want something at a better price point, EMIRO is one for you. Once again, from the house of MORESQUE, EMIRO Parfum. Next up on the list, ladies and gentlemen, the newest fragrance in my collection. This fragrance is about a week old now. I picked this up, sampled, of course, like I always tell you guys I do. I sampled this fragrance along with this brother fragrance, GRIS CHARNEL. This is GRIS CHARNEL EXTRAIT. And I sampled it, had it in for a couple weeks and decided, you know what, it's time to pull the trigger. The weather's getting cooler outside. I did have a hard time picking between the actual EDT formulation and the extrait formulation, or the EDP formulation and the extrait. But once it came down to it, boiling down the nuances of what I wanted for a fragrance, this particular scent won out ultimately, and I am not disappointed that I did choose this one at all. This one here opens just as it states, a beautiful cardamom. It's just so rich, so wonderful, so spicy, along with that fig that is just, it has to be. When choosing fig notes, I'm not sure if any of you guys ever dabbled in getting perfume recorded samples and oils and stuff like that, but I was one who ventured out and have ultimately immersed myself in this actual perfume game, and I actually got some fig notes in to just smell what it was like when smelling fig, because I had never known what it was about getting a fig accord with the oil. How could you extract fig oil? I digress from that. What I'm telling you about is ultimately the scent of GRIS CHARNEL EXTRAIT. It just permeated around my nose. Just, it's one of the very sexiest date night, evening wear, and daily wear fragrances that you could put in your collection. I just love the way that the cinnamon, the sandalwood, the bourbon vetiver, the tea accord, and the patchouli leaf combined with a very gorgeous sweet note of coumarin. Just a great wearing 4-hour evolution to a fragrance, then settles on the skin at about a 1 foot bubble range, and just is super, super, super sexy, man. It creates and has created in 2 scenarios since purchasing this particular fragrance. Because I don't really test a lot of fragrances out in public. When I test my samples, I wear them around the house, I wear them on my scale to see how in my own environment, if I can still pick up a scent hours later. I don't give it a fair chance if I'm saying I'm going out in the public and then I'm wearing clothes, taking off clothes in the gym. Everything has to be kind of in an incubation for me when I'm testing. And so testing this one in my house, knowing that it did what it did, and then purchasing and seeing it ultimately by giving it that same parameter of each fragrance, this one beat out the EDP. And man, when I say it goes off beautiful, you also get this leathery take on the sisters, this balsamic, like a balsamic leathery dryness, but it also has this resonance feel to it. And then you have the iris, which I perceive as orris root because of that powdery, gritty, earthy feel to the iris. It's not floral, anything super floral about this at all. It's very, very rich, earthy. So you get the black tea earthiness, the cardamom earthiness, the iris earthiness, the bourbon vetiver earthiness, the cedar wood, soft and enveloping. It's a great, great extending facet to add the sandalwood in this one. Very sweet. The tonka bean is one of those almond textured tonka beans that comes off very cocoonish, puts it around, just everything about this particular scent. Confidence booster, confidence builder, very, very sexy fragrance, a magnet of confidence or compliments. And I think any one of you guys who are in the market for this particular scent, it gets my stamp of approval. It's one of the beautiful fragrances that I've gotten this year alone. High rating for me, very high rating. Confidence key. This is one of them. BDKs, GRIS CHARNEL EXTRAIT. This list. When we talk about distinguishing ourselves from the crowd, distinguishing ourselves in our environments, there are a certain amount of fragrance, of course, that we can use, and we all have our different ones that we partake in, that we enjoy ourselves, and that ultimately is what builds the confidence. It's about self-confidence. It's about subjectively putting out something into the world that you feel confident in, be it whatever you put on your body, your clothing, your accessories. All those things about life have come into your life because of the way you feel about those items and how they can build your confidence. But when we put on certain fragrances, we've actually learned that some will do better than others. And when it comes to a very confident masculinity, smoky, leathery fragrances are one of the best in that arena. Smoky, leathery fragrances with a fruity nuance even add a better characteristics. Become not only does it project a power grab, a force behind you, the fruity, woody sweetness can also be super sexual and alluring for any woman in your life. So just like I opened this list with ebony and oak, I'm going to end this list with one of the best fruity leather fragrances on the market. Just a fragrance that emanates confidence. It is one built on a fruity opening of the osmanthus flower and frankincense, which is the smoky nuance to it. It then goes to a mid of May Rose Absolute and a leather accord that is just so smooth but rich and slightly animalic. And that's one thing too that's slightly intriguing. It creates a sense of intellect and intelligence about you when you wear things like this, because it gives someone the actual connotation that you're different, you're smarter than the rest. And that's one thing about confidence. Not only do you smell it, they smell it. This is an instinctual fragrance of animalic, leathery, smooth woodiness and smoky tones. It has vanilla in the base that is one of the best vanillas out there, which is one that I think is proprietary to Armani Prive line, because I never smelled this vanilla anywhere else. It has a beautiful Laotian oud accord in the base as well. The evolution on this one is about a 6-hour mark. This is one of the best luxury leather fragrances that you can find. Now, I wish I had the 100 ml bottle, and I think now that this has been restocked at Harrods, which is the only place you can find this particular scent, I'm going to go for the 100 ml bottle and quite possibly sell this one off, because I need this one as a ongoing fall and winter signature scent. And for this particular reason that I want the 100 ml is this is in my top 10 fragrances of all time. This was hovering and is hovering around the 6, 5, and 6 mark, as right in the middle. Beautifully made, gorgeous wearing fragrance, super unique. I haven't smelled any leather fragrance like this on the market other than this. The osmanthus, the frankincense, the oud, the May Rose, the leather, the vanilla, everything comes to evoke the image of confidence, which I ultimately love to put out, and this one does with excellence. Once again, Armani Prive just knocked it out the park. I don't even want to spray it. That's how I am. Man. Fruity, just very like, almost like a tartness to it as well. There's tart apple to it that they don't put into the notes. The frankincense, the May Rose, just sexy, slightly animalic, smoky, and just a very, very gorgeous wearing scent that I think any of you, man or woman, will have the greatest amount of confidence creating behind wearing this aura around you. Great projection, great sillage, very wonderful, unique scent that everyone is attracted to. Armani Prive's CUIR Majeste. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my video for you guys today. I ultimately, hopefully, was able to introduce you guys to some fragrances. They're very, for me, they're unfamiliar. They build great confidence. They have an established character about them, and they ultimately create a preeminent confidence in us as human beings, as us as men and women. These are fragrances in my collection that are very distinguished, very distinctive of a certain smell, a uniqueness that's going to be unique to you when you wear them. And ultimately, like I stated, confidence, man, that's the one thing that we ultimately, every Monday morning when we wake up to go get this grind in, we want confidence. And some of these things that we put on, we can make ourselves feel fearless, and ultimately at that, peerless when it comes to coming out the house confident. So these are fragrances I chose to give to you guys today. I hope that as always you found something entertaining and educational, and if you did, all that I ever ask that you do, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.